The day I broke up with Sam, I cried myself to sleep, only to be startled awake by a chorus of chattering sounds. Why didn't Dad come today? Dad, 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 my foot. Can't you see Mom cried herself to sleep? Every time she cries, Dad's never around. I must be dreaming too hard. My cat and dog were actually arguing. Seeing me staring blankly at them, the puppy hesitated and let out a soft woof. Then slowly came over to lick my hand. Seeing that I didn't react at all, it sighed in relief. You scared me to death. I thought Mom could hear us talking. After returning home exhausted, opening the door, turning on the light, putting out the food, and sprawling on the sofa, all in one smooth motion, I stared blankly at the ceiling. 5 years of love had come to an end. Whose fault was it, really? But upon closer reflection, no one was to blame. A message from Sam popped up on my phone. Lena, let's both take a month to cool off. I suddenly remembered how red his ears were when he first handed me flowers during his confession. Lena, I'll give you a month to think it over. As my vision blurred, I covered my eyes with my hand and took a shallow breath. Forget it, that's enough. Very strange. I didn't sleep well. I know breakups can affect sleep to some extent, but having thunder in one ear and then the other is quite rare. Why isn't Dad home today? Dad, 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 my foot. Can't you see Mom went to bed crying? Every time she cries, Dad's never home. Is Dad afraid of Mom crying, so he doesn't dare come back? Stupid mutt. It means we're getting a new dad. A cat and a dog are openly gossiping about Sam right next to my ear. I suddenly sit up. Must have woken up too fast. My cat and dog are talking. My little cat is a tuxedo cat, acquired for free, found in the grass downstairs. As everyone knows, the flower language of kittens is hesitate and lose. When I found Flower, she was still one of Coco's. Bravely hissing at a giant like me, until I stuffed the pacifier into her mouth. Hiss turned into meow. It became part of the family, and I named it Flower. As for my puppy, it's a purebred, fluffy marshmallow Sammy had bought from a pet store, named Coco. Initially, it was to prevent Flower from feeling lonely when I was at work. I didn't want another cat to make Flower think I didn't love it anymore. So after much deliberation, I chose Coco. I sat there staring at them in a daze. Wondering if I was hallucinating, Flower let out a meow, elegantly raised its tail, and instantly moved 3 feet away from me. Go circle around Mom for a bit, Coco complained unhappily. Why me again? Just go when you're told to. Their mouths clearly weren't moving, yet I could hear them perfectly. Coco hesitantly walked over to me, licked my hand, and peeked at me with bean-sized eyes. Seeing that I didn't react, it breathed a sigh of relief. Scared me to death. Thought Mom could hear us talking. I gripped the sofa cushion tightly. Turns out she really could hear. Coco wagged its tail cheerfully. I stiffly placed my hand on the dog's head, and Coco's 2 little ears quickly flattened. I forced a smile. After all, it's my own child. If it hurt, then so be it. I stood up and calmly added food for them. Coco wagged her butt happily as she followed me. How did Mom know I was hungry again? Flower scoffed. Because Mom knows you're a glutton. My hand trembled. Coco said, Mom, why are you copying the cafeteria lady and shaking it off? Flower jumped over and gave Coco a punch. You should lose some weight. After a while, Flower got furious. Don't stick your dog's snout into my bowl. I listened to 2 days of cat and dog conversations at home. My temples are throbbing with pain. I called my best friend Sam and told her that I broke up with Sam. She rushed to my place in no time and started nagging as soon as she walked in. I told you Sam wasn't reliable. But you kept insisting he was great. Now look, how did things end up like this? Sam crouched down to pet Coco's head. Coco, you agree, right? Your mom has zero judgment when it comes to men. Coco gasps. Auntie, slow down, slow down, slow down. I'm going bald. Flower walks by gracefully. Sam's eyes light up as he reaches out, only to grab empty air. Flower said, stupid humans, pretending not to hear it is really painful. With Coco and Flower around, I couldn't focus on the breakup at all these past 2 days. Instead, my mind has become much calmer. My sons can all talk now. What's a breakup compared to that? I said, it's not about being suitable or not, and there's no right or wrong. It's just that our values don't align. Sam loves spending time in the lab and obsessing over numbers. I'm free-spirited and follow my heart. like the last time we fought. It was just over a meal. Sam and I had planned to meet for dinner early on. In the middle of it, he got a call from the lab and left without even looking back. I didn't react, calmly finished my meal alone, got up to pay the bill, and texted him that we were breaking up. Sam didn't understand. He thought it was just a meal. Frowning, he seemed somewhat annoyed. Lena, I never expected you to understand or even try to understand me, but this is just a meal. I found it somewhat ridiculous. Yes, just a meal I had been looking forward to for half a month. Spent a full 3 hours getting ready for, and had flowers delivered during the dinner. Just a meal, that's all. I stared at him steadily. It was our 5th anniversary. Sam looked at my reddened eyes and froze slightly. Many times, he forgets anniversaries, forgets holidays, and even forgets my birthday, either late, or leaves early, or only makes up for it after I remind him. I don't want to waste my breath on him. I've packed all your things and thrown them out. Come pick them up when you have time. Please leave my house. I haven't been right for him for a long time, just clinging on for the sake of so-called love. Sam gave me a thumbs up. A woman among women. Sunk costs don't factor into major decisions. I can't imagine that day in the future. If I'm giving birth in the hospital and Sam just takes a call and leaves, I would definitely regret not making a decision today. I won't let myself be hurt again. Coco widened her eyes. Mom said she broke up. Flower said, I'm not deaf. Coco hesitated. Do we not have a dad anymore? Flower replied coldly. There are 3.5 billion men in the world. We're not short of that one. Mom can choose whoever she wants. Coco let out an ah and happily jumped into my arms. I just want Mom, no matter what. I staggered from the impact. Flower was right. Coco really needs to lose weight. While petting Coco, I called out to Flower. Flower remained silent, just aloofly licking her paws. Coco barked. Mom's calling you, you bad cat. Why aren't responding to Mom? Flower casually got up and walked over to lie beside me, with Coco's repeated, bad cat, echoing in the background. I was flattered. Flower's tone carried a hint of arrogance. Humans will ultimately bow at my feet. I gave its little paw a gentle squeeze. Flower huffed and turned its head away, but the paw wasn't withdrawn. I am incredibly fortunate that the house belongs to me. I raised both of my sons single-handedly. Sam had nothing but his 2 shabby suitcases and a few white coats. No wonder they say children are a mother's tether. Seeing Flower and Coco, I feel like I still have the energy to work hard for another 50 years. I vigorously rubbed Coco's snout, gave it a kiss on the head. Mom's going out to earn money to buy you tasty treats. I searched everywhere for Flower and found it lying on the top level of the cat tree with its eyes closed. I had heard before that in its mouth. This was the king's throne. I felt a bit regretful that I couldn't give it a kiss. When I came back after packing my bags, I found Flower had moved to the next level, right facing my face, still in the same position with its eyes closed. I was pleasantly surprised. He went up and gave Flower a kiss. Good baby. After I left, Flower opened its eyes as if nothing had happened and returned to its throne. Coco shouted from below, Flower, why did Mom call you a good baby? Flower said, you heard wrong. Coco wanted to say more, but the dog's head was already met with a cat's paw. By the time Sam waited out that month of calm he mentioned in his message, he found I had already blocked and deleted him. Sam was unusually distracted in the lab, his senior colleague teased. How come Lena didn't come to pick you up today? Sam turned off his phone, looking somewhat dejected. We broke up. The senior colleague covered his mouth and quietly walked away. At the company, many people greeted me cheerfully when they saw me. Lena, any good news? You've been looking radiant lately. I smiled with curved eyes. Nothing much, just got rid of some bad luck. Good fortune puts me in a great mood. In the past, I would drive to the lab after work to wait for Sam. But now I can't wait a single moment to go home after clocking out. Coco is very happy. Have you noticed Mom's been coming home from work earlier and earlier lately? She must really love me so much, Flower said, because Mom doesn't need to go looking for men anymore. I scooped Flower up in my arms and gave her several big, deep sniffs. When I pulled away, Flower's head looked like it had been hit by a cannon blast. It placed its paws upward, attempting to politely decline. But a proud little kitten can never escape the grasp of humans. After finishing the meal, I put a collar on Coco to prepare for a walk. Coco said. It's time for Coco's daily walk. Flower glanced at it. Coco wagged its tail. Do you want to go out? Flower remained silent, sitting still and watching us. I thought about it. Every time I took Coco for a walk, it was always just Coco alone. I rarely took Flower out, as if it was always assumed that Flower shouldn't go outside. Always fearing Flower might get lost, I crouched down and said gently, Flower, do you want to go out with Mom? Coco was shocked and quickly came close to me to look. How does Mom know what I'm thinking? Can Mom hear me speak? I pretended not to see Coco's snout almost touching me. Coco says, Oi, Mom. I don't answer. Coco says, Arigato Mama-chan. I almost couldn't hold back. Coco circled around me, confirmed that I couldn't hear, and let out a big sigh of relief. It wagged its big tail proudly. That scared me to death. It seems Mom and I just share a special connection. Now it was my turn to sigh in relief. A human, a dog, and a cat, all playing mind games with each other. Flower slowly walked over. I scooped it up in one motion. Come out with Mommy, good baby. Coco pricked up its ears. I didn't mishear this time. Mom called you good baby. Flower nestled in my arms and said coolly, It's just that I indulge Mom more. I allow her to call me that. She's special. My hands were overwhelmingly busy. One arm cradled the cat, the other held the dog's leash, stealing a moment to pat Coco's little doggy head, calling her a good baby too, a mom who treats everyone equally. Coco wiggled her little butt happily as she ran toward her doggy friend. I followed while tightly holding onto Flower. Flower fell silent for a moment and whispered, You're going to strangle the cat. I quickly loosened my grip a little. Flower stayed in my arms when suddenly a few cats approached from the front, causing Flower to urgently bury her head in my chest. Coco's friend is a beautiful border collie in the neighborhood named Rose. Coco says, Hello Rose. Rose says, Hello Coco. Coco barks once in the direction of my arms. Let me introduce you. This is Flower. Rose stared at the figure in my arms with hesitation. Strange, why does this cat look so familiar? Flower remained silent, burying her head even deeper. Just then, the other cats ahead also walked over. They caught a familiar scent and all turned their gaze toward my arms in unison. That is, it's the boss's scent. Flower tried to hold her breath and play dead. The cats closed in around her. I'm shocked. What kind of boss is this? Watching Flower's behavior, I felt like I should have understood something. For the sake of the child's dignity, I immediately put Flower down. I whispered, Baby, don't run around. Okay. Flower didn't answer me. Instead, it raised its head, no longer behaving as before, becoming proud and elegant. Several cats stood in front of Flower in unison. Boss, Flower replied. A tabby cat hesitated and glanced at me. Boss, why were you just in this human's arms? Flower calmly said. Humans are merely creatures crawling beneath the king's paw. She simply submits to me. The tabby cat stood in solemn respect. Boss is mighty. Another cat whispered cautiously, Brother Flower, why does she call you baby? Flower shot a sharp glare their way. You misheard. She was calling for it. Flower's eyes were fixed on Coco. Coco turned her head in response. Yes, I'm Mommy's baby. Rose suddenly realized, so I wasn't mistaken. It really is Cat Boss. Cat Boss. I forced a smile while chatting with Rose's owner. How did my baby end up joining the underworld? Back home, I pulled Flower and Coco close to me. I casually remarked, Flower has so many friends outside, all of whom Mom hasn't met yet. Coco said. Flower, Mom is about to find out you're not behaving well. Flower replied coldly, just the king of the neighborhood, nothing unusual. How is that misbehaving? I haven't even conquered the earth yet. I said, they think they're just meowing and barking, but Mom can hear everything. I patted the kitten's head and casually added, Flower can't just run outside. You know, Mom would worry if she couldn't find you. Flower pondered for a moment. It asked Coco, Is Mom experiencing separation anxiety? I almost couldn't hold back. Coco rubbed against my leg and said, I don't know. Puppy doesn't understand. Puppy just wants to stick with Mom every day. Flower stood up aloofly, stepping on my leg and then lying down on it. Forget it. Humans are quite fragile. Without me, Mom wouldn't be able to live properly. I'll reluctantly spend more time with her. I pursed my lips. I gently stroked the kitten's back. Warm, smooth fur. A little kitten is quietly riding a motorcycle. I won't say who it is. I didn't expect to see Sam again. These past few months have been too comfortable, indulging in Flower and Coco calling me Mom. Over and over again, when I saw Sam, I felt nothing at all. Maybe I loved him once. But that was all in the past. As Flower said, there are so many men in the world, and life doesn't depend on any one of them. Sam looked somewhat haggard, with faint dark circles under his eyes. In contrast, my face was fair, my eyes bright, as if reborn. I was no longer the resentful woman who used to complain about everything. Sam looked at me persistently. Lena, we need to talk. Already at the doorstep of my own home. Not being able to see my child immediately made my expression turn grim. I said coldly, move aside. Sam pressed his lips together, stared at me, and after a long moment, gave in. I'm sorry, Lena. I raised an eyebrow. You don't need to apologize to me, we're already over. Sam remained silent for a long time. He took a deep breath. Is there still a chance? No chance left. These words didn't come from me. Hearing the voice, I lowered my head and saw the familiar black and white color scheme. Flower stood beside me. In Sam's eyes, Flower gave him a meow. He crouched down, wanting to pet Flower. Flower climbed right up my leg onto me. I held it with my hand. Sam's hand hung in midair, looking very awkward. He stood up. Can I go see Coco again? What? Couldn't reconcile, so now you want to steal the dog? I frowned. Flower's vertical pupils gleamed, her teeth sharp. Is Coco your dog? Coco this, Coco that. That's my underling. You can't even tell who's boss here. So in Sam's eyes, Flower just meowed at him a few times. There was a hint of surprise in his eyes, thinking Flower still recognized him. Watching his expression, I snapped, Flower's telling you to get lost. Several stray cats in the neighborhood gradually approached, standing by my side and hissing at Sam. Sam eventually left. On the way back, Flower calmly explained the whole story to Coco. Coco got so excited that she dashed around the room. He wants to steal the dog. He wants to steal the dog. He's up to no good. He wants to make me leave Mom. He's a dog thief. Dog fur flew everywhere in the air. My face darkened with embarrassment as I hurriedly tried to calm Coco down. I grabbed him, hugged him, and gave him some pets. Coco pouted angrily in my arms. I'm gonna bite him. Flower licked her paws. He's already been chased away by me. I patted the little cat's head again. Flower put down its paw, and I placed my hand on Flower's paw. Flower withdrew its paw and then placed it back on my hand, a kitten that was competitive all its life. I smiled. Flower is amazing. Just standing there made him not dare to approach. Flower raised her head. Pathetic. I chuckled again and said quietly, by the way, how did Flower go out today? Mom doesn't seem to have gone upstairs yet. How is our Flower so capable that she can go out by herself? Coco said, oh ho, you're in trouble now. From now on, I always give a reminder before leaving for work. I point at the door. Flower is not allowed to go out casually. Not allowed to stay outside for too long, and must not make Mom worry. Coco is not allowed to destroy the house, chew on Mom's newly replaced sofa, and absolutely no stealing snacks. Coco shook her head and wagged her tail. Mom talks to us every day, but she doesn't understand what we say, so I sneak snacks. Today I'm going to eat the new pack of sausages Mom just bought. I smiled, especially that pack of sausages. If Mom notices even one missing, the puppy didn't laugh. Flower adjusted his whiskers. Fine, I'll only stay outside for 15 minutes from now on. Coco was incredulous. She pattered over to Flower on her tiny paws, skeptical. Are you really going to be this obedient? Don't you care about your dignity outside anymore? Flower replied, I just can't be bothered to make Mom worry. Humans are fragile. If she gets too upset, it wouldn't be worth it. Coco poked Flower's head with her snout, pleased. I think you love Mom too. Flower swatted her snout away with a paw. I already told you it's just because humans are fragile, not because. She didn't say the word love. Perhaps the proud little cat wouldn't allow itself to speak such straightforward words in front of humans, but it's okay, Mom will help it. I planted a kiss on both Coco and Flower's heads. I love you so much, so very much. Coco never tore up the house again, and Flower, just as she had said, would only stay outside for 15 minutes each day before coming back. Every day, I smother the little cat and dog heads with kisses. Mommy's good babies. I love you both so, so much. Humans who wear their hearts on their sleeves never lose. Coco is very proud. Oh my, I'm such an obedient little dog. I'm mommy's favorite baby. Flower strutted past it with cat-like grace. Humph, being fooled by human sweet talk never ends well. Yet there's one little cat who rides a motorcycle every day. Perhaps even it itself hasn't noticed. I'm beside them making kitten food and puppy food. Hearing this, I held back again and again. The corners of my lips just wouldn't stay down. Such a good and adorable baby. I used my salary to buy a bunch of toys, new cat bowls and dog bowls, and some canned food. In the past, I had very low material desires, and my salary in the bank was barely used except for food and daily necessities. Now I realize that everything is just perfect for my babies. I wave my hand. Flower, Coco. Coco wags its tail and happily trots over. Midway through trotting, Coco turns its head, looking slightly puzzled. Why aren't you coming? Mom's calling us, Flower said. Flower, sharp-eyed, had long noticed the pink, yellow, blue, and white things in my hand, like little skirts. Flower calmly replied, I won't go. I grabbed Flower and looked at it with sparkling eyes. Flower blinked and closed its eyes. It didn't dare to open them, hoping it was just an illusion. I told you before, being deceived by human sweet talk never ends well. Coco has already started picking out clothes on the side. Mom, I want the pink one. Mom, I want the blue one too. Mom, finally, Coco wore the pink dress and Flower wore the yellow dress, and they took many adorable little photos. The combination of an enthusiastic puppy and an aloof kitten, who wouldn't call them the second generation of twins. I divided the toys fairly between the cat and the dog, placing them in Coco and Flower's exclusive little cabinets. Mommy won't play favorites. Okay, Coco wiggled her butt happily. Mom loves me. I love Mom. Mom and I are sweet as honey. Flower jumped onto my shoulder, the little cat seemingly having found its new throne. It held its head high, like a mighty little feline king surveying its domain. My mom also found out about my breakup with Sam. She called me on video and sighed, saying, Sam is indeed an outstanding and good kid. I said calmly, we just don't have that kind of fate. My mother wanted to say more. Coco squeezed her way over. A puppy's face fills the screen. Grandma. My mom's eyes crinkle into a smile when she sees Coco. Oh my, it's our dear Coco. How wonderful. Coco is so blessed. I understand what my mom means. Chubby little Coco. I pat Coco on the head. You really should lose some weight. Coco wiggled her butt as she walked away. No, it said it would eat slowly, bit by bit. The more it ate, the more delicious it became. Coco said, I'm a lucky little dog. Lucky little dogs don't need to lose weight. Keep the luck. My mom also wants to see Flower. I then pointed the camera at Flower. Flower pondered for a second, turning her back to the camera. My mom chuckled happily. Flower is also a blessed one, I praised. Flower and Coco are so well behaved, obedient and sensible. They never give me any trouble. Coco tapped the floor with her paw, lifted her little head proudly, and chirped happily. Mommy praised the puppies. Flower pricked up her ears. I stole a glance in their direction and smiled with crescent eyes. You're all good babies. Getting back to serious matters. My mom keeps urging me to find another partner. I sighed helplessly. Three-legged toads are hard to find, but two-legged men are everywhere. It's not that I can't find one, I just don't want to right now. We'll see about the future later, Coco said. Auntie mentioned that Mom's taste in men is questionable. I pinched Coco's ear. Every day you don't learn to speak properly. Flower slowly walks over, stretching like a lazy little cat. Love comes naturally. Mom won't be left without it. Coco struggled to lift her hind leg. I'm learning backflips. So Mom can tell people I can do backflips and bring others home. No idea where she learned that. I couldn't help but laugh. The kitten pretended to be mature, while the puppy bounced around energetically. I gaze at them tenderly. I am already very happy. My mother advises, start a family, so at least someone will take care of you when I'm not around. I shake my head, go with the flow, and I smiled and said, Coco and Flower will take care of me. Coco walked over to me with a bottle of mineral water in her mouth, displayed the mineral water bottle in front of the camera from all angles. Holding the water bottle in her mouth, Coco mumbled indistinctly, Grandma, Coco will take care of Mom, of course. My mom couldn't understand. She looked at Coco in surprise. I also stared at the best little dog in the world. Yes. How could there be such an amazing little dog in the world? Coco's tail wagged even more happily. Flower slowly got up, pretending to pass by me, and tossed a bag of bread into my arms. The world's greatest little cat has appeared. I picked it up and showed it to my mom. My mom was even more surprised. It's so spiritually attuned, I silently thought, not just spiritually attuned, but also capable of seamless communication with me, a true child of my own. To prevent Coco and Flower from feeling hesitant to speak, I've always pretended not to understand their words, allowing them to freely express their thoughts in front of me. I'm living a peaceful life with one cat and one dog. The little dog's breath is really stinky, but only when Coco sleeps beside me do I feel secure. The little cat's temper is also quite foul, but it's only when Flower is in my arms that I feel truly happy. I take one bite from the left, then one from the right, left, right. Coco sleepily smacks her lips. How strange. It feels like firecrackers are going off in my head. Flower remains silent, licking her fur, letting me kiss her. People tend to get sentimental at night. Their little bodies on either side were so soft, melting my heart. My kitten and puppy won't stay by my side forever. The day will come when they leave me. I panic amidst my happiness. Before falling asleep, when I kissed Flower for the last time, I pressed my head against Flower's head, yawning and murmuring, "Mommy really loves you so much. Don't leave Mommy, okay?" I believe Coco will wait for me at home, but Flower seems more like a free-spirited little cat. It often sits by the window, and as I watch its back, it feels like seeing a lonely little cat drifting further away, like a feline hero with its own soundtrack, roaming the world with a sword. I gradually grew drowsy, and in my sleep, I faintly heard a familiar voice. "I love you too." The next day, Coco sniffed around the entire house. Strange, I feel like there's drool on my forehead. Coco found Flower, pawed at it, sniffing and sniffing. "Did you secretly lick my forehead?" Flower said. "Silly dog." It patted the dumb Coco's head. Cats don't have saliva when they groom themselves. I emerged from the inner room guiltily, clearing my throat lightly. "Mom has a company dinner today and might come back late. Be good at home, okay?" Coco immediately forgot about the saliva matter and started running around excitedly. Dinner party," Flower asked in confusion. "What are you so excited about?" Coco replied. "You wouldn't understand. Mom's dinner party means extra treats for me," Flower said. "Your current weight isn't healthy. Mom won't give you extra treats." Coco dislikes exercise. Every time she walks the dog, she just looks for her good friend Cricket to play with other dogs. I'm amused. "Silly puppy, clever kitten, I'll give each baby a kiss. Be good and listen." Coco happily. "Mom loves kissing the puppy more and more." Flower calmly. "Mom has been very clingy with the cat lately, because you are all of Mom's emotional support." I stared at them, reluctant to leave, until Flower raised her tail and let out a meow. "Mom, we're going to be late." Only then did I snap out of my daze. Coco stared at the clock at home. 7, 8, 9, 10. It was past 9, and Mom still hadn't returned. Coco grew a bit anxious, sniffing around the door repeatedly and pressing her ears against it. No familiar sound of Mom's high heels clicking or the fragrant smell of spare ribs. Coco grew impatient. Mom's dinner gathering should have ended by now. She should be back. Flower remained calm. "Let's wait a bit longer. She might be running late." Until it was past 11, Flower jumped down. It had originally wanted to go out through the window. The apartment wasn't too high up, and Flower could easily land safely. Turning back, it saw Coco staring eagerly. Flower said, "Wait at the door. I'll go wait for Mom at the entrance of the neighborhood." Coco pleaded pitifully. "No, I want to go find Mom too." Flower clicked her tongue in disapproval. It skillfully climbed down and leaped onto the doorknob, muscles tensing. Click, the door opened. Coco was dumbfounded. Flower turned her head and said, "Follow me." As soon as Coco stepped out, Flower pushed the door back and closed it. "There's no turning back." Flower walked ahead, her voice faint. She turned her head, her eyes exceptionally bright in the darkness. "The door won't open if you look back. Either come back with Mom or wait for her at the door. Either way, you're getting a beating." Coco remained silent, darting out right behind Flower. A cat and a dog raced through the neighborhood, passing by stray cats. I heard a chorus of meows. I had a bit of alcohol today. The night breeze blows, and I still feel somewhat dazed. Under the moonlight, my shadow stretches very long. Then, I saw the shadow behind me. It was also stretched long, like a slender specter, falling beside me. From the hair, it could be seen that it was a man, seemingly wearing a hat. The alcohol instantly sobered me up. Someone is following me. I clutch my bag tightly, not daring to look back, my body breaking into a cold sweat without realizing it. The entrance to the residential area doesn't allow parking, so the driver had stopped across the street earlier. To get there, I'd have to walk a stretch of road first, then reach the crosswalk. There wasn't a single person on the road, only the dim streetlights remained. My heart was pounding wildly. I quickened my pace and headed toward the residential area. To make matters worse, the security booth was unlit, and the guard was nowhere to be seen. The shadow behind me grew longer and longer. At first, the shadow's head only reached my feet, but now it gradually extended past my calves, knees, thighs. It was rapidly approaching. Woof woof, a whoa, a loud bark pierced the sky, shattering the terrifying atmosphere. Hiss, I looked up in a daze and saw my Coco and Flower at the entrance of the neighborhood. Coco bared her teeth, looking fierce and menacing. Flower's eyes glowed with an eerie green light, followed by pair after pair of green glowing eyes behind her. The person behind me clearly hadn't expected a dog to appear and immediately hesitated about whether to proceed. I reacted quickly, taking advantage of his distraction to sprint away in my high heels. The man cursed and chased after me. Coco, Flower. Coco dashed toward me, while Flower led a group of kittens, hissing as they charged at the person behind me. Coco said, "Mom, don't be afraid, I'll protect you." Flower squinted. "Scratch me, the weather was hot." But the person behind me was wrapped up tightly. As I ran wildly and looked back, I was still startled by those eyes beneath the brim of the hat, a few sharp cat cries, and a man's gruff shout, "Damn beast, get away." Coco let out a yelp and immediately rushed forward to bite his leg. I watched as the man pulled out a gleaming white knife from his bag, my eyes welling up with tears and panic. "Coco, let go, come back quickly." "Flower, be careful." Coco was kicked by Flower and released its grip, causing the knife to fall. The kittens moved nimbly, escaping unscathed. Seeing that his knife couldn't reach them, the man had no choice but to seize the opportunity to flee. I clutched my chest and slowly crouched down. Only then did I realize I was drenched in cold sweat, my entire body as if pulled from water. Coco and Flower returned to my side. I held them tightly. I realized that in that moment, what scared me more than getting hurt myself was the thought of losing them. Coco licked my face, grinning foolishly. "Mom's okay now. The bad guy got chased away." Silly little thing. My tears fell like strings of pearls, one after another. Coco quickly nuzzled against me and said, "Mom, don't be scared, don't be scared." Flower stayed quietly in my arms, listening to me cry, "I'm scared, I'm terrified." I was afraid that in that moment, I might never see Coco and Flower again. Sniffling, I reached out to pat the heads of the stray kittens beside me. "Thank you, little ones. Tomorrow I'll open 20 cans for you." I called the police and took 2 weeks off. Sam moved in to stay with me. She cursed at the scoundrel so fiercely it felt like she was digging up and insulting 18 generations of his ancestors. Sam called to ask about the situation, but was impatiently hung up on by Sam. Ask, ask, ask. What's there to ask? Never saw him being this proactive before. This household only needs Flower and Coco. Sam turned around, smiling at Coco and Flower. "Our Coco and Flower are so amazing, so brave, already protecting mommy." Coco wiggled her bottom. "Wow, Auntie can change faces," Flower calmly said. "A victory as expected." I vigorously rubbed the kitten's head and the puppy's head, rushing forward with such reckless abandon, only to appear completely unfazed afterward, filled with anger, heartache, and the urge to cry. Teetering between laughter and tears, Coco nuzzled me and said, "Mom is amazing too." Mom ran incredibly fast in high heels, As if walking on solid ground. Flower said, "No culture, that's like walking on flat ground." Life seemed to return to calm again. The police were conducting an all-out search. I stayed at home every day, racking my brains to cook delicious meals for Coco and Flower. Sam and I went downstairs to feed the stray kittens. I kept my promise by opening a can of food every day. Flower stands out more prominently among the stray cats. It sits by the window every day looking down. It's a true cat boss surveying its kingdom, a kingdom conquered by mom with cans of treats. I pretend to pass by casually, but actually stop very deliberately. My head leans against Flower's head. Flower said, "Meow, Mom, you're obsessing over the cat again." I nuzzled its little head. "Mom will always be obsessed with you." Flower continued to gaze into the distance. Half a minute later, it turned its stiff head back, and the aloof Flower showed a shocked expression for the first time. "Mom, can you hear me?" I gave it a kiss. "Of course I can." Flower froze in shock. After a long pause, it jumped off the windowsill, wobbled unsteadily into its little nest, and burrowed inside. I stifled a laugh. It's perfectly normal for a child to need some time to process this. Coco just came back with Sam, chattering away without getting any response. Coco curiously poked out its head. "Where's Flower?" "Flower, Flower." I smiled. "Flower is in its nest." Coco nodded. "Okay, Mom, Ma." Coco stared at me in shock. It ran over and circled around me. Sniff, sniff, sniff. "It's really Mommy, Mom. Can you really hear me?" I nodded. "Yes." Coco asked, "Who am I?" I replied, "You're Coco, Mommy's good baby." Coco swayed excitedly from side to side. "I knew you were my mom." "Flower, come out quickly. Mom can hear us talk." "I told you she's our real mom." Flower was lost in self-isolation. Its thoughts didn't align with Coco's. It recalled some of the things it had said earlier, which must have been heard by me. Flower slowly walked over to my side. I picked it up, and Flower curled up in my arms as if boneless. "Mom," Flower called out softly. I said, "What's wrong?" Flower said, "I'm sorry." I was taken aback and patted Flower. Flower lowered her head. "I'm sorry. I always say such unpleasant things." I held her tightly. "Not at all," Flower said earnestly. "Mom, those words might make you think I don't like you, and I'm truly sorry, but actually I love you very much." The proud little cat lowered its haughty little head for a human, its most beloved human. "No, I never misunderstand anything," I said gently. "You'll always be Mama's baby, because I know you love me so very much, just as I love you." A kitten's Coco brain is structured differently from a human's. It can only hold one loved one in its lifetime. Flower is a little cat with a tough mouth but a soft heart. It will voluntarily sleep on the lower level to let its mom kiss it, secretly, ride a motorcycle in its mom's arms, behave well for its brother to avoid worrying its mom, stealthily smooth its mom's fur while she's asleep, and risk everything to save its mom. It is the bravest and most wonderful little cat in the world. Having it by my side is the happiest time of my life. Coco took the initiative to go on a diet and exercises downstairs every day. It even refuses to eat its favorite snacks. I asked why. Coco's eyes sparkled brightly. "To protect Mom and not hold her back." A puppy's love is pure and flawless. It only knew that its bulky size nearly caused an injury and made Mom worry, but it never realized what a brave little dog it was, forgetting its fear of being beaten as it rushed out the door for Mom, charging forward without fear of any bully who dared threaten her. A puppy spends its whole life enthusiastically responding to its mother's love, and giving the same love in return. I kiss Coco's left ear, and it instantly folds back while the right ear quietly perks up. Coco cheerfully says, "I love Mommy the most." I hug Coco tight, with it by my side. Those were the happiest times of my life. I can't lose Coco and Flower. They are my everything. But I never imagined the separation would come so soon. I went grocery shopping with Sam. "I'm very happy," with joy written all over my face. Sam teased me, saying, "You used to be gloomy every day when you were in a relationship, but now you're fooling around all day with Coco." Flower, one person, one cat, and one dog. I curled my lips and said, "You don't have kids, you wouldn't understand." When we came back, we were shocked speechless by the sight before us. The door had been pried open. There was blood at the entrance. My face turned deathly pale, my nerves were stretched to the breaking point, and my lips trembled unnaturally. Sam." Sam steadied my arm, calmly called the police, and shouted for help. The police arrived quickly, searched the area, and found no one. Sam's lips moved as if he were saying something to me, his hand continuously patting my back gently. her expression kept changing, anger, heartache, and a cacophony of other emotions. I couldn't hear anything. My ears were filled with a deafening buzz. Coco was found, lying barely alive in the room. Her snow-white fur was stained crimson. My eyes instantly reddened. Coco saw me and struggled to say, "Mom, Flower." Coco was immediately taken for emergency treatment. "Flower, where is Flower?" Flower. Coco's frail body was tossed like a rag onto a pile of withered grass behind the building. Its mouth was half open, lying in a pool of dark red blood, its eyes unclosed and dull. The stray cats around cried out one after another. I stared blankly, my eyes gradually clouding over with mist again. I heard myself as if I were crying. Sam stood nearby, his eyes red. She cooperated with the police investigation, while I stood dumbfounded holding Flower. Coco's body, tears flowing unconsciously. This body is icy and stiff. It's nothing like the soft belly I first found it with. I tremble unconsciously. What do I do? What do I do? I held Flower tightly in my arms. At that moment, the pain of loss and self-blame surged from the depths of my heart, and I burst into tears. Sam crouched down and patted my shoulder. That day, Sam and I went out. The man who had been arrested once was released after being detained for a while, as his previous actions hadn't caused any substantial consequences. With a strong desire for revenge, he set his sights on me again. After staking out several times, he made all the preparations to break into the house. Coincidentally, I had gone out to buy groceries. Seeing that he couldn't succeed, he harbored resentment towards Coco, who had bitten him before. He then tried to drag Coco into the room to kill her. Coco desperately bit him, and the man stabbed down with a knife. At that very moment, Flower rushed forward, pouncing on the man's face, scratching and biting frantically. "Stupid dog, let go, run," Flower roared loudly. As the commotion grew louder, the man kicked Coco away and retreated out the door. Flower clung to his face and head, refusing to let go, its sharp claws making the man cry out in pain. But how could a tiny kitten's body compare to that of a large human? He killed Flower. The police were highly efficient this time, as the nature of the break-in was extremely heinous. He will face the sanctions of the law. Coco has stopped talking much. It likes to quietly watch out the window alone like a dog. That was Flower's favorite spot at the time. Flower was buried in the most beautiful rose bushes in front of the building, where stray cats often roamed. I crouched beside Coco, lost in thought with it. It let out a soft, woof. "I'm sorry." My vision blurred as I gently hugged Coco. Coco said, "It gave its life to save a dumb dog. It was the dumbest one of all." I replied softly, "If Flower had been attacked first, you would have chosen to save it too." I wanted to reach out and wipe away my tears, but no matter how hard I tried, they wouldn't dry. Once, what I feared was losing them 10 years later. Now, happiness is fleeting, so fast that one can't even grasp its tail. Only then did I realize how precious the present moment truly is. Coco and I are becoming more and more homebuddies. We've gotten hooked on some live streams where you can hear animals' thoughts. It's quite mystical and seems somewhat legit. Coco sits beside me. Can they really hear our thoughts? I shook my head, somewhat hesitant. Not necessarily. Even Mommy doesn't know. Coco tilted her head. Then Mommy can try letting them hear my thoughts to find out. I randomly clicked into a nearly empty live stream and hit the connect button, never expecting to get through immediately. The host was a young girl who, upon seeing me and Coco, greeted us cheerfully. "Hello there, sis. Want to see what the little dog is thinking?" I nodded and sent her a gift worth 200 yuan. "May I ask the dog's name?" I said. "Coco." "Hello there, Coco." Coco grumbled. "Hello." The girl smiled. "You're saying hello to me?" I was slightly taken aback. Coco also froze for a moment. The girl continued, "What do you want me to know?" I thought for a moment. Where did Coco hide the big bone back then? Coco pretended not to hear. The girl looked at Coco, and after a long while, she smiled faintly. It was hidden in its best friend's den back then. I didn't hear Coco speak, but apparently, she was right. Coco said, "How did she know?" The girl smiled mysteriously. "Not only do I know all your little secrets, I also know, you really want your friend to come back," Coco said. I said. The girl sighed. "You're quite lucky to have met me. I left my master and came down the mountain 2 months ago. And I'm almost out of food. To repay this sister for her kindness in sharing a meal, the girl drew out her words playfully, saying, I've decided to help you fulfill this lingering wish. 1 month later, there was suddenly a faint rustling sound at my door. I opened the door. A 2-month-old tuxedo cat sat at the doorstep, grooming itself. I stared at it blankly, and Coco stared blankly too. It walked through the door on its own, elegant and proud, the exact same movements. The exact same black and white pattern, and the exact same, Mom, and the silly dog, come in already, I'm home. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.